Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Age of Mythology retold fanatics gather on this auspicious of occasions to see the man, the myth, the legend in action. He is the Kronos main with the blue eyes. It is Neymar, MD. This means he is a professor or a doctor of Kronos. That's what that means. His opponent today in the chat playing as Hades. If you buy his course, you will gain 200 RR. His name is Aces, or his name is the Rapple, and he's in the Aces team. And he's going to be playing some Hades for us on this nice little gimme game. Now, recently I've been hearing a little bit of murmurs around the strength of a certain Greek god. People are telling me that Hades is no good anymore. People is telling me Hades is no good anymore. Rapple is here to prove him wrong. He's got Greek blood in his veins. How could he lose with Greek blood in his veins? At the moment, he says, you know what? I'm playing against Kronos. Why would I cheese out, greed out Vaults of Erebus when I can just advance quickly and just put it to bed? Nice and simply. I can get my upgrade later. It's not a rush. Sure, the earlier I get it, the more value I get out of it. But why are we always in a rush in this day and age? Just take your time. Enjoy. Make sure you don't die. That's number one. Number two. Number three, most important part about Age of Mythology, RTS games in general. If you don't die, if you don't resign, you can still win a game. If you resign, that's the only point in which you've actually lost the game. See? There you go. That's some, that's the thing. Deconstruction coming onto the temple, however, as Rapple decides to pull off the temple, to rebuild the temple, such that he can get access to whatever he needs next. Meanwhile, into the main base here, Neymar is going up through Prometheus. He is a little bit later than the Rapple. Now, let me also edify you even further. If you rush out a second town center without Vaults of Erebus, you are behind a Vaults of Erebus build. But you're not that far behind. You aren't that far behind. It's literally somewhere in the vicinity of 100 to 200 resources. It's not exactly. It's not that much. It's very, very close. It's very, very close. So I love it. Except you don't want to put two villagers on the temple. You only put one villager on the temple. And that way you can. Anyways, continuing along, we'll see what Neymar's plan is. It's looking like he's going for a town center. He's not going for a great town center. There is no hunt close to it, which is dangerous. Now, there's not really a problem with him going for this town center. He's got Prometheus, so he's got Valor, which means he can just heroize his citizens and then put the town center up. So, and plus, it's really far from the base here. So there is that. But nonetheless, Promethean's coming up to the top here to defend, and he's going to be getting himself the lesser of the two town centers. Now, why do I bring this up? Why do I say this isn't ideal for Neymar, this town center? The reason is you don't really have much ability to harass a Hades player who has this town center with Sentinels as Kronos early on. However, the Hades player does have a lot of room to harass you. So that means you have to build units to defend yourself, but you can't use those to go and harass your opponent. So the ideal situation for Kronos, as a second mana is now up and he's going to be going for the town center, the ideal situation for Kronos is to make sure that you have a nice town center that you can be eating hunt underneath, if possible. That way, you don't have to worry about all of these things as the Minotaur comes through, headbutts the citizen to safety. How dare he? We do actually see Staff of Dionysus in as well for Neymar, so his villagers will simply just go back to full HP, which is very, very nice. And the citizen going to turn around here. Gets headbutted again. Got to be careful there. The citizen going to get heroized, however. And gets that regen. Jesus. This is a really, really nice relic for Prometheus defensive gameplay. Town Center is now up. And Rappel also says, I'm going to take the less than ideal Town Center. I am shook on this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Does he see this? He doesn't see the Town Center here, but he has to know that it's there. Meanwhile, Neymar does see this, but he doesn't see the ball. So I get it. I get it, considering I have omniscience, so I'm omnipotent. I'm omniscient. I know everything. I know all. Nonetheless, Promethean does go down. Economic Guild to come through as well, and this is the part of this matchup that you've got to really, really know, and that's that Kronos economy, Atlantean economy, gets the advantage by getting economic upgrades. So you want to grab them as fast as you possibly can while not idling anything. So the same thing here is, it's not necessarily true for the Hades, but the Hades also wants to do this. But the thing is, really when the economy comes online is when you get to the Heroic Age and you get Bowsaw and Shaftmine. If you can get both of those technologies in nice and quick without taking too much damage, too much heat from your opponent, you will end up finding yourself with a really, really big advantage to push your opponent somewhere. Nonetheless, Minotaur, Achilles in. One barracks has to come down now for Neymar. As Rappel says, I'll tell you why I went for that town center on the back here. It's because I wanted both of the town centers, you dummy. So 3 town centers for Rappel. Kind of delayed. The Promethean, however, they have an inkling that something is going on. Not only, they have a very big inkling. However, Rappel's inkling is a little bit more inklinging. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Ajax is in. Those are Prometheans are not going to do anything. But he does spot the town center, which will mean Neymar is free to stay 2 TC, go Heroic Age, no problem. He can say, all right, I'll go for my own 3rd town center here. Or he can pump units and try and make something happen. I don't like the pump units trying to make something happen in this situation. Just on the fact that, what are you supposed to attack? You can attack this, but you can't really attack this if Rappel pulls them in onto here and then clicks Sentinels. Plus, you also put walls down, and now you can't attack this either. Well, you can, but you have to break the walls down, which, again, Sentinels, and then you're going to take damage. So I love the idea of a Rhea here. Is this a town center? It is absolutely a town center. I don't know how much I like this. I don't think it's terrible. It's not the worst decision. It's going to keep him in the game for sure. Or competitive, economically speaking. But this does slow down that timing. And I don't know, I really don't know where this works. This is like one of those, if we talk about sidelines through an Age of Mythology game, in terms through the textbook openings in this game, this will be a sideline, and I don't know what happens here. I would never do this play. Nonetheless, some goats coming through here as Neymar is hoping for something in this corner. Nothing here. But, I mean, he can eat the goats if he wants to. And this also means, well, Rappel is going to take the opportunity to get some walls down, get himself all sorted out, coming over onto this spot, grabbing himself more walls here to lock down this position. There's boars here to grab as well. As the town center is up. A couple here, Mamillo's now in. And I think, after all is said and done, after all of the little spicy actions of the early game is said and done, I think Rappel might be hitting the Heroic Age first here. And I think a lot of this is down to the fact that this town center was not grabbed first and foremost. Because all these villagers need to walk so far. He does not need gold at the moment. He needs food. And he actually has to throw farms down, which is super painful. Not only does he have to put the farms down, but he also has to get plow, of which Rappel does not need. Which just means Rappel is going to be getting to that next stage much quicker, unlocking next tier of upgrades much quicker, and basically cancelling out any sort of big economic advantage that Neymar's going to have. Now, one crazy idea you could go for here if you're Neymar, he is kind of doing it, is getting out a whole bunch of oracles, but then also manually heroizing villages. What this does is it means that your economy is never going to fall off. You're always going to be competitive with the Greek play. Take a look at the actual economic gather rate here. 2.14 compared to 1.65. At 2.14, now this citizen is worth 2 population. Exactly. As opposed to the citizen over here, which is worth 1.65 population. Obviously, there's no walking time on the dump off, but that's still not enough to make a difference. So, yeah, it costs more to get all your villagers out, and then you have to get 50 of them. But if you get them all out, then you will not fall off on the economy, which does mean you can continue to fight in the same ferocity that your opponent can fight. As we check a little card balusters out. And a little bit of a fight over here. There will be access to Valors if need be onto that Carabalis to just hold. But Heroic Age is in for the Rapple. And the fight for the center is probably going to be the big thing here. Who secures this, secures these gold mines, secures this, and everything else. I'll keep saying it until someone agrees with me. If you got rid of this settlement, I think this map would be I think the center would be just as important. I think the settlement is like the afterthought. I don't even care about it. I just need the center control for these gold mines. In fact, you could go and you could make the gold mines spawn a little bit more like this, right? On all the outsides. That could be anyways. Nonetheless, I'm just completely different, completely unrelated to anything going on here, but we are going to be seeing Neymar now moving forward, and it's going to be time for Palace Spammage. He will be wanting to go into Destroyers. He's going to be wanting to go into what looks to actually be Contarius, which I don't mind here. Because Rapple, he's already building Peltast. If you don't build a single Arcus here, these Peltast are useless. These Peltast are useless. So going straight into Murmillo, Contarius at the moment, and then maybe later, in the later stage, going into Arcus, makes a lot of sense. As some behemoths actually coming through as well for Neymar. I don't mind building behemoths so long as your opponent isn't building anything, or you've already got an advantage over your opponent in terms of like units. So it helps you push. It's kind of like your siege weapons, so to speak. You don't really build siege weapons unless you've got an advantage to use them. So like, for example, you build Petropolis when you've got a fortress down and some sentinels there to defend them, right? You can protect them. Or you build siege towers when you've got an army to back them up to break through. You build portal ramps, you've got an army up to battle through, right? You need to have that army, and of which Neymar doesn't quite have just yet. So this is kind of hurting him a little bit. But Rapple is getting out of position, which does give him that option to make this attack happen. As Neymar pulling back, economic upgrade situation as the Bosaw coming through on the other side. Rapple has gotten himself all of his own upgrades. He's getting himself irrigation. And the behemoths now to wander through here, going to take down the wall. And all of a sudden, Rapple is like, oh, there are units there. I need to get back. I am going to be greeted with a palace here as well. I'm out of spot position. I've been caught out. And the town center for the Rapple, after all of his good work here in the early game, this one's going down. And I will eat my words and say, yep, these behemoth, that was perfectly fine and reasonable. As you do see Rapple doing a little cheeky there. He deletes his Ajax, rebuilds over here to help him out. Onto this side, that Nemean line getting the roar onto that, but killing off a whole bunch of villagers. As in fact, Rapple is sitting on this spot trying to take units out, but he's losing so much stuff here. Meanwhile, we are seeing that boiling oil tech to make sure that there's no easy way to take the palace out. Contarius are in. And this is pain for the Rapple as these 3 behemoths are going to wander in here. Deconstruction onto the temple, because why not, he says. The behemoths to wander in to take out that hometown center. Rapple does not have a fortress up here to go to the Mythic Age, but nonetheless, he's going to be getting that one deleted as Achilles pops out. Ajax is in, and this will be enough, I think, to put a stop to this sort of an attack. He's got to attack the right ones there, though, and he can repair this one back up. But yeah, that's so much resources, so many resources down the drain. Yes, you get a 20% refund on those behemoths, but managed to take them out. He did kill off this town center, so he gets some damage done. And Neymar's going Mythic Age here. He does decide Atlas is the god of choice here. I don't mind the Atlas pick, because it does make his destroyers even better. But what Neymar needs to do now is not grab this town center. It's to put more palaces down. Grab this position. Try and grab this position, right? Lock gold mines up here. We don't care about this gold mine because this is going to get defended most of the time, because the villagers have to retreat, but all these Contarias will end up going down. The raid on this is perfectly fine, but while this is going on, he needs to get in onto this spot. That's going to be big. As the villagers return over, fortress to come through. And the Contarius will have to leave with a lot of losses here. But nonetheless, 100 villagers. And I guess here's the other thing is, like, if you go for this town center in the center, the problem is, unless you've got that full pop of Hero Citizen, you can't really afford the population, like the fortified town centers plus the population. So better is just spamming palaces and starting a trade route and then grabbing the town center, because that way you can sort of afford everything. Nonetheless, Hephaestus on the way now for the Rappel, as he is going to have to put up a very, very strong defense in this game. Military academies coming through for the Rappel as the units starting to congregate over here. Atlas just about to finish up. Fortified town centers to come through. Champion infantry, champion range soldiers on the way. Stable goes down. Behemoths coming through here. Drops the implode right on top of all the villagers. Will clean up a couple of units here. His army is obviously going to get sucked up as well, but he is ready to go on this position. But still not sending those villagers forward to get this gold line up. 3,000 wood in the bank. What is he doing with that wood? I do not know, but he needs to get more villagers onto food and gold. As Rappel is now in an incredibly difficult position. He's now down 4-2 town centers. He's going to the Mythic Age, so he does have that going for him. He can still turtle here and bring this game back. The Argus pulling in, getting some good damage done. And Rappel still... Is he still building Peltast? Or are those the original Peltast he built? Because he still hasn't seen a single Arcus here. Nonetheless, little bits of damage over onto the middle of the map here. Behemoth coming through, going to be too late to the party, but he can trader the Colossus and will immediately do so, sending that directly at the town center. Plentyvault over here for the Rappel. As Rappel is down to 112 population. Neymar, a couple of idle units over here, still not moving in to claim this position. He needs to get there. These sort of advantages do not last forever. You've got to claim the position while you can. Send these 5 villagers forward. Get in here. Claim the corner. Prevent any sort of trade route. The hardest part about Atlantean, or the most stressful part about Atlantean, is like the knowledge that you've got to claim the advantages when you get them. Because it can be so tough to actually get the advantages. As an Nemean Lion roaring here, holding onto this position. More Valors coming through to try and help break through this spot. Champion Cavalry to come through. No Champion Infantry in just yet. There are now some Arcus to come through, but they are naked. Naked as the day they've been born. They need some armor. Destroyers to come through, trying to finish off the town center. It's getting close to falling. One destroyer left, however. Villagers will be able to out-repair that one. There's a heavy fire siphon coming in. He's got the engineers in. However, the Rapple is stabilizing here as the citizens say, all right, let's come through now and grab the town center. But that is too little, too late. You'd have to assume Mana's coming through. He can go for this tech, Temporal Chaos, and send in all of them. But Rapple is too smart. He senses this coming. In fact, he sees it coming because his farms give line of sight. And he will say, sorry, not today, Sonny Jim. That is my town center. You are not allowed it. Meanwhile, Rapple has got 700 gold remaining. 700. All Neymar needs to do here is get one good trade. One good trade. And he can find a win. But he decides on the Titan. He wants a Titan gate. Now he's got no resource to spend. He's lost all of his units. And Rapple, who's about to expire, he will lose this town center potentially. Those fire siphons going hard. But losing 3 fire siphons for a town center, that's a trade I will take any day of the week if I am the Rapple. Those are expensive. The problem here is, and I've said it a million times, Rapple will finish up on this gold mine. He will move over to this gold mine. And he's going to be a happy camper. Neymar can't prevent that anymore. Because he's spending all these resources on Secrets of the Titans. Iron armor is not something that's coming for him. He has to sit back and just sit here and wait, losing a mana as well. Hasn't got fortified town centers in just yet. Dim Riser! What's happening, my dude? Thank you for the prime! Legend. Dim Riser is the man behind the shorts. If you guys enjoying the shorts, make sure you give him some love and watch some more of them. There's villagers coming over onto this side. Fortress coming up now for the Rapple. Titan Gate also pre-queued for the Rapple. He knows if he can just get one out, he's going to be okay. Finding underneath this palace as well, no advanced fortifications, does mean it's not going to be that. I mean, it is useful, don't get me wrong, but it's not a crazy amount of damage. Once you get advanced fortifications, it becomes a crazy amount of damage, and it can be very tough to break through without siege. Nonetheless, it does manage to be enough here for Neymar to hold, and Rapple has to pull back. It's now the Heliopolis rolling in for the Rapple. And that will be a dead palace as Neymar trying to get his Titan Gate up. One thing here is to make sure that you grab all of these guys and pop them, all the hero citizens, and put them onto the Titan Gate, because they build faster than the regular villager by even more than you'd expect, because they've got that theft of fire technology. And now the Rapple, seemingly stabilized, has his third town center, is not building a Titan Gate at the moment, but he's going there. He's also grabbing himself this Divine Blood tech, which will make him be able to build that Titan Gate even faster. And Neymar has just lost his grip on this game. As the Heliopolis will clean up the town center. Villagers have to abandon the center of the map. There is one more gold mine over onto this side, but Rapple here, he can just charge over there, drop a fortress down in the center, run over onto this side, and life's going to be very tough. Even with a Titan, life is going to be really tough now for Neymar. He's got nothing left. He's got 1.2k military versus 7k military for Rapple. One decision in this game seems to be the big difference. One decision, and that's it. And what's that decision? Going Titan Gate. Because it's not just the upfront cost either. It's also the cost of all the citizens not gathering while you get your Titan out. And Neymar He gets the Titan out and he says, all right, GG. We don't even get to see Titan smash. Or in this case, Titan get smashed. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And all the other good stuff. And we'll see you in the next one.